Yes, looks like I have signal. All right, awesome. Hello, Thrivers. Heather here. I am at a family reunion in beautiful Rexburg, Idaho. My little baby sister has got her own house here, and so we are having a fun time here enjoying a family reunion. Everyone else is out swimming, and I got to take a nap with the baby, which is exactly what I wanted to do after a really rough night. So I wanted to talk today about focusing on your faith rather than your fear. And I was actually talking about this with my sweet sister yesterday. And she was, saying, Heather, I just don't know how you've overcome so many things and you've gone through so many challenges. You're such an incredible example. And the way she was talking about it was as if I had never had any fear along the way, as if I'd always been really strong. And I just had to tell her, Jasmine, it was just a daily, sometimes even hourly or minute by minute choice if I was going to listen to that fear or if I was going to listen to my faith, if I was going to listen to the things that I want and to focus on what I want. As a family, we've been studying the New Testament, and we've been really intrigued. I've been really intrigued and talking with the kids about the story of Peter walking on the water. So he sees his Savior, and he's focused on his faith. He's focused on Jesus Christ walking across the water. And what does he do? He gets out of the boat and he starts walking across the water. And then, as he's doing this, he starts to notice the wind and the waves and the fact that walking on water is impossible, right? And then he starts to sink and he starts to think about drowning. And he takes his eyes off of his Savior, in this instance, his faith. And that's when he starts to struggle and starts to fail and to flounder. And then he has to call out to Christ to save him. And how true of a principle that is in our own lives, whatever your faith might be. In this instance, I want you to think about the things that you really want and the things that you want in your marriage, the kind of relationship that you want to have. The kind of home that you want to have, the kind of relationship you want in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20, 30, 40 years from now. And are you choosing to focus on those things more than you're focusing on your fears and your frustrations and your anger and your fear? I already said fear, but that fear is a big one. We tend to fixate on our fear. So just do a quick check-in with yourself. Think about, even today, and every other day this week, but what percentage of time am I thinking about what I really want to experience, and what percentage of time am I thinking about things that I don't want to experience? I'm thinking about how I don't want them to leave me, how I don't want our conversations to go so poorly, how I don't want divorce, how I don't want them to be with this other person, how I don't want our conversation to go like this, how I don't want this unhealthy thing that keeps happening to keep happening. And we get fixated on everything that we don't want. So it's really common, majority of the time, that we are focusing on the things that we don't want. And we tend to dwell there. But that's not where our power lies. And it's not where the solutions to those problems lie. The solutions come by focusing on what we want and then allowing the ideas and the inspiration and the path. I'm going to say path, our path method, right? But the way will become clear for you as you do that. And so for me, there was moments of absolute fear and moments of, I don't think I can do this. I don't think that Ben and I are going to make it. Fear for my own life, fear for all the hard things I had to do, and fear for anytime I'm ever growing, I'm stepping into fear all the time. But I've learned that there are two different energies, and only one can live in us at the same time. If we are full of fear, then there's no room for faith, because they are opposite ends of the spectrum. Whereas if we are focused on our faith, then that always overcomes the fear. So just do a check-in with yourself on where you are. Are you focusing on your faith, or are you focusing on your fear? And where do you really want to be? I mentioned in our podcast on Wednesday with Mark Johnston, as we were doing our podcast here, that the race car drivers, that they're trained, the professional drivers are trained not to look at the wall, because some of them get so afraid of hitting the wall that they keep glancing over and checking the wall. Am I getting close to the wall? Am I drifting close to the wall? If I go around this turn, am I going to hit the wall? And what happens when they focus on the wall, they hit the wall. Whereas if they focus on where they want to go, if they focus on their destination, if they focus on their triumph and their victory, God forces them to succeed. If you're in a reboot group, in our coaching programs, you know that that's one of the biggest principles we teach right off the bat. When you focus on what you want, God forces you to succeed. And that's a true principle. So focus on what you want. Move through the fear, allow it to be there, allow it to be a teacher, but make sure that you are focusing more so on your faith and the things that you want, and you will get there. So I hope that this has been helpful. It's just a little tiny thought today as I'm in the middle of relaxing out here with the I don't know if you can hear the birds, but it's just beautiful. And so if you want more help with this, go ahead and PM me. That's why Mark Johnston and I are here, is to help you guys. So go ahead and PM me, and I'd be happy to help you with that. Going through some incredible moments of fear where it felt like it was absolutely overwhelming. It's amazing though, because even in like the deepest darkness of your soul, or the darkness even of the world, one tiny drop of light always overcomes that darkness. It's just a matter of choosing to move toward it. So I encourage you to do that today, and we'll talk again soon.